Yo guys, what is up? It's your boy TRUEDBZ back with another video, and today is the beginning of the week of top 5s for the last week of December. I really hope you guys enjoyed this series, and hopefully I can make more videos like this in the future. So, just to start off, this is how these top 5s are going to work. So, first we're going to go over the honorable mentions. Most of them, or if not all of them, have honorable mentions, and it only goes up to 3. That way the video is not bloated with, this one didn't make the list because of this, it's only 3, right? So technically the most entries we can have is 7, or 8, sorry, it's 8. So with that being said, honorable mentions are first, and then we'll go from number 5 to number 4 all the way up the list. Now for each list is going to be different, but I will try and go into detail of why I put certain candidates in which spot. Most of them are kind of explainable if you've seen my channel, because it's about the channel, so obviously the entries are going to reflect that. But I'll try and go into detail, but not too much detail, like I said, to not make the video bloated and all that stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the nitty-gritty of today's video. So today is going to be top 5 titles of the channel, and we're going to start off with honorable mention number 1. So let's get into it. Alright, so number 1 on the honorable mentions list is a Dragon Ball FighterZ video entitled Homie Drops. So basically where this title comes from is when I was fighting my friends Eldo, Boss, and Pretty, I believe. Most of the time I usually kick their ass, or I beat them like 3-0. And Eldo does this thing where he says homie drops, and I'm supposed to drop the combo in order for him to survive. Most of the time it doesn't really work out that way, because it's a fighting game. You fight to kill, basically. But sometimes I do a little homie drop here and there. So the reason why it's not on the top 5 list is mostly due to how situational it is. Homie drops really, as a title, doesn't really describe what the video is entirely about, even though in the video homie drops is said and is done throughout the video, keep it entertaining and stuff. But like I said, it doesn't really encapsulate the entire video, right? It's more like sprinkled in throughout. So that's why I didn't make the top 5 list, because the top 5 all culminates what the video is about and how well it describes the channel as to me as a player. So homie drops, it does that, but not to top 5 material. So we'll go into the next honorable mention right now. Okay, so the next honorable mention is fighting tack equals you lose. So this one almost made the top 5, I'm not gonna lie. I really wanted to put it in the top 5, but the other ones were just too good. But this one in particular really cuts home, because if you guys don't know, Tack Jersey is actually my mentor in terms of fighting games. He's really like my Dragon Ball FighterZ mentor, but he has helped me out in other fighting games and seeing how they work and how they relate to Dragon Ball. So he's really my overall fighting game mentor. And basically this title pretty much encapsulates everything. Whenever I fight him or other people fight him, it's just that if you fight this guy, you're just going to lose, especially at a casual level. Like, he might not be like a pro player or like a Sonic Fox or Goichi, but he knows his fundamentals really, really well. And I've only beaten him only a couple of times. Like, out of like all the matches we've had, I've probably only beaten him like 5 to 6 times, like in its entirety. I'm not joking. He knows his fundamentals really, really well. So yeah, the reason why this didn't make the top 5 is because it lacks a bit of a oomph if you don't know the lore of the channel. Saying lore is kind of a weird word, but it's true. Like, I fought him multiple times on the channel, and pretty much every single time I'll always end up losing. Either it's a stomp or it's a stomp. Like, it's pretty unbalanced whether or not he'll I'll take the dub or not. It's pretty much universal that I'll lose every single time. So so if you don't know the channel, then this title it's still funny, but like it lacks the oomph to like kick it up to top 5. Like I said, I really wanted to put it top 5, but I think the other 5 entries are just a tiny bit better than it. Honestly, you could like the bottom number 5, you could probably swap it and it'll still work. So yeah, that's why it's in the honorable mentions. So we're gonna get into the very last one right now. Alright, so the very last honorable mentions is from a Guilty Gear video. So it's the very first one on the list. So Nago is a freak lol. So this one is pretty much exactly the same as the Homie Drops entry, in that this line is said in the video when I was fighting Nagiriyuki as Mei. But it doesn't really encapsulate the entire video, because even more so than the Homie Drops, because I only fight Nago, I think, like twice in the video. And I think the rest of the video is just me fighting other characters. So this one is really situational to what happens in that moment, but it doesn't encapsulate what the video is about, right? It's still a funny line, which is why I put it as the title, because, I mean, come on, like, if you see the thumbnail with the title, it's like, it makes sense. But, yeah, that's why it's in honorable mentions, is because it didn't really encapsulate the video, but it's still a pretty funny line, so it gives it that little oomph that into honorable mentions. So, alright, so now that we got honorable mentions out the way, we're going to start off with number 5, so let's get to it. Alright, so without further ado, let's start off with number 5. So number 5 comes from a Dragon Ball FighterZ video, and the title is BBA plus Vanish equals Mix. So this one is kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke. In the video, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have commentary, or if it does, I'm pretty sure I say this multiple times throughout the video, and it pretty much encapsulates what the video is about, because I abused this mechanic way too much in the video, because I literally just recognized how good the Big Bang assist for Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta is. This one was right after the Season 3.9 patch, in which they buffed the Big Bang assist, and so now it's a pretty decent assist, regardless of what other people say. I still think it's like a top tier assist if you know how to use it. But so after they buffed it, I wanted to try it out and see if I can incorporate it into my team, and boy did I. So Big Bang assist with Krillin is really, really good, and one of the things that is universal to everyone in the game is if you call Big Bang assist and you vanish, no matter what, it's mix. Well, it's not real mix, but it still catches people off guard if they're not looking for it. So the basic setup is I call Big Bang and I vanish. If they block it, I'm plus 40, and if they get hit, I get a free combo. So that's basically what the gist of the setup is. It's really easy to beat, because you just 2H the vanish, and then you follow up with super dash, and then you avoid the Big Bang. So it's really easy to beat. But the thing is that since I was playing Dragon Ball, and its online is very questionable at best, it's like in most cases you're not blocking this. Especially if, it's just random. Like if I just neutral jump, call Big Bang, vanish, like most people aren't going to be looking out for that. So that's what makes this title in particularly funny, because literally when I was doing it against my friends, literally nobody saw it coming, especially the first couple of times, and they literally did not know how to handle it. And so that's why I made the title Big BBA plus Vanish equals Mix, because they just couldn't block it for the life of them. And like I said, even if they do block it, I'm still plus like 40. So it's like, it's pretty much a win-win for me no matter what. But there are obvious counterplays. But like I said, this title pretty much encapsulates what the video is about, and it's just me abusing the Big Bang assist and just trying to have fun with it, So yeah, that's why it's made number 5. So we're gonna go into number 4 right now. Alright, number 4 is from a Skullgirls video, which is the first in the list. This one in particular really had to be on this list because it pretty much describes what this character is. So the title in question is Disney Reject Zoner. So basically, if you guys don't know, there's a character in Skullgirls named Peacock. She's basically your zoner of the game, and she's really goddamn good at it. But the thing is about Peacock is that she's animated like a 80s, like 90s cartoon. Well, actually no, I shouldn't say that. Just way older than that. I'm not familiar with my cartoons, but she's made out to be like a really old-timey cartoon, especially if you choose certain skins. But she has like a bunch of like animated minions. She has like really good projectiles that look like items like in old cartoons, and she has RNG drops. Like she's pretty much like an old-timey cartoon character. So in this video, my friend Pretty was playing Peacock as a main at the time. I'm pretty sure he was playing Peacock. I want to say Annie and Squiggly? Question mark. I think that's what he was using. And basically, it was really hard for me to get in because this character literally just zones you out, and she pretty much doesn't care what you do. She pretty much has an answer for everything that you could do to get in. She has a teleport. She has a move that breaks normals, that breaks projectiles. She has really good zoning tools. She gets mix off her zoning. Like, she pretty much has everything she wants as a zoner character, which is why I called it Disney Reject Zoner, because she's basically modeled after old cartoons, and she's a zoner, and she's a reject because nobody likes her except for the people that made her. But yeah, I think this title pretty much encapsulates like pretty much 90% of the fan base that don't like Peacock. It's just Disney Reject Zoner. That's it. Like that's what she is. So I think this one deserves the number 4 spot because how genuine it is to the Peacock character. So yeah. With that being said, we're gonna go into number 3, and this is where things get really interesting because these titles right here are both real and funny at the same time, and one of them might surprise you. So let's get into it. Alrighty, we're at the top 3 now. So number 3 on this list is probably the most realist, if not the second realist title I've ever made. So number 3 is We Playing Dragon Ball, Not Fighters. So this one is in reference to the time I was fighting my friends, the squad, you know who they are. And basically I was not having fun like at all, right? Because the netcode is really bad, and since they don't play fighters like I do, they rely heavily on universal mechanics to win. And when you do that, the netcode doesn't really hold up, you know. So it's like getting hit by 6Ms, getting hit by Dragon Rush, getting hit by like 26 frame command grabs, getting hit by crossed up super dash, getting, you know, anti-zoned by key blast even though you dash blocked. Like Dragon Ball FighterZ has it all when it comes to poor netcode, you know. The Dragon Ball pretty much encapsulates that. And that's what the title here is relating to. We playing Dragon Ball, not fighters. So this is a reference to a joke I might have said in the video. If not, I said it while playing the matches. And I believe this is the video where I chose like a really toxic team. I'm pretty sure I played Broly, UI Goku, and Goku Black. I think. No, it was Broly Team Gohan, Goku Black. And basically, I was doing nothing but like the scrubbiest crap you can do in fighters, because you could just do that in fighters, and 80 to 90% of the time, you'll always win. Like Z Broly with armored command grabs, armored tackles, his auto combo is really good. Team Gohan's auto combo is busted, EX kicks is busted. Goku Black's auto combo is really good. It anti-reflects. His projectile is really good. He has a beam. He has a beam assist too. Broly has one of the best assists in the game. Teen Gohan's DP assist is mad stupid, but I think I used all C assists because I was totally memeing. But even then, C assists are a hassle in Dragon Ball, so it's like this quote right here, "We playing Dragon Ball, not fighters," pretty much encapsulates what net play is for this franchise. Is when you play online, you're not playing a fighting game, you're playing a Dragon Ball game, which, if you know anything about Dragon Ball games, is that its online hasn't been the most top tier. Looking at you, Xenoverse and Battle Z. But, you know, Fighters is definitely the best out of the bunch in terms of quality. But it still hurts regardless. So, yeah, this one is probably like the second realest, or maybe the realest title I've ever made. But, yeah, this one hits too home. Every time I see this title in my video list, it's like, damn, I was spitting here, you know. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go into number 2. Alrighty, so number 2 on this list is probably the realest, and I mean the realest title I have ever made for a video. So this video, or this title, comes from a Skullgirls video when I was practicing my team with Pretty, that being Fukua and Sarabella, and it wasn't going that well. The thing is about fighting Pretty is that he makes very, how you say, unique decisions during certain instances, and I can't really keep up with it. It's not like with Eldo and Boss, in the fact that they're really predictable in what they want to do and how they execute it. So if I read them, it's like they die. But Pretty is just enough random, but just enough smart to where it's like, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this motherfucker's gonna do, right? So like, when playing Skullgirls, because it's so reset heavy and pretty much every single character in the game is busted on their own merits. And of course there are tiers and, you know, who's better than the rest, but functionally every character in that game is busted. Like, you can play a tournament and every single one of those characters can be number 1 and nobody would question it. Like, nobody would be like, wow, this Eliza player made number 1 in a tournament. Like, I mean, Eliza is on the bottom tier of the characters, but she's still really, really good. So it's like, you know, when characters have really strong tools and an unreadable player like him, it's really tough. So, you know, this title, with practice, struggles follows, is probably the realest title I have ever made, because this pretty much encapsulates all the sets that I have with this man. Like, every time I practice with this man, it's always a goddamn struggle because I can't read him, because he literally does the weirdest shit I've ever seen people do. Like, I am not joking when I tell you, he's like, especially like in Skullgirls and Melty, because I have this man red in Dragon Ball. Like, this nigga can't get away with shit in Dragon Ball, because I played that game for like 3 years. But if you've seen my Skullgirls and Melty Blood videos, then you know this motherfucker will not, he won't stop pressing. Like, he'll press and then he'll wait and then he'll press and then he'll wait at certain times, and then sometimes he'll just keep pressing just to press, and I'm like, nigga, you know that meaties, right? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, what nigga, what? So like, he's like, it's so weird, and I'll get to him more in depth in another video. But this title right here literally encapsulates what the video and me fighting people in general is whenever I practice, struggle follows almost exactly immediately. Like, when the round queues up and you see round 1, it's like, damn, I'm about to lose. And it doesn't matter who it is. It could be like a day 1 player, and I'm like, damn, I'm not confident I can win this shit. You know, so it's like, damn, this title really goes hard. Like, this pretty much encapsulates what my entire channel is, honestly. Like, every time you see a video from me, like, there's gonna be losses in the video. I don't think there's a single video that I've made where I literally win every single fight. Well, actually, that's not true. That's not true. The fights I have with Eldo, I pretty much win every single time. I think he's the only person that I can say that I can, like, beat consecutively. Everybody else, I'm like, I mean, they could do something, but Eldo is like, nah, I pretty much have that nigga red. But anyway, so with Practice Struggle Follows is probably the realest title I've ever made for a video. Like, it pretty much encapsulates what the channel is about. Why is it number 2? Well, the next entry is pretty unique in the fact that it's so, like, not meta, but like it's a story you guys never heard of, and that's what makes it funny. And also, it's just hilarious how this title came about. So without further ado, let's get into the number 1 pick. Okay, so the number 1 pick is called 30 Seconds. That's it. For context, this is a Dragon Ball FighterZ video where I fight my friend Boss, and I believe when this fight took place, I haven't played the game in about maybe a week or 2, maybe even 3 weeks. I haven't played Dragon Ball in a while, but when this video came out, I took a break because the last session I had went really badly, netcode issues, toxic characters, you know the gist. But I believe, was it me that asked him or was it him? I forgot who asked who, but we fought, and literally it took 30 seconds for me to not give a shit about these matches. So here's the thing. Here's how I go about playing people, right? So when I queue up in a match, right, the very first thing I'm doing is like, damn, I might lose this, but I'm gonna use this first match to see how they react to certain things, right? See how they play neutral, see how they do pressure. So the first match is literally just a downloading match, and I pretty much let the opponent in most situations do whatever they want, because I want to see how they adapt to my playstyle or my passive playstyle, and then see how they, you know, handle the game in general. But since I'm fighting Boss, I don't really have to do that. Well, sometimes I do, but in most cases I don't have to, because I already know how he plays. Because if I don't know how he plays by now, it's like, damn, I really suck at reading people. But in this match in particular, since I wasn't playing Dragon Ball for like 2 to 3 weeks, it's like it was a complete reboot for me, because I'm like, damn, I really don't know what I'm doing. And then I'm playing a player that doesn't know what he's doing either, but he doesn't give a shit. Like, he doesn't care about his skill level. He'll just press, he'll do whatever it takes to win. And I'm like, damn, I wish I was like him. So, like I said, 30 seconds. If you watch the video, exactly 30 to 40 seconds, I want to say 30 seconds because that's what the title is the point where I'm like, this is totally not worth it. And the thing is, I kept rematching because I didn't want to feel like a toxic player, right? I didn't want to feel like, damn, if it's not like me winning or me technically improving, then it's worthless. But like, sometimes it just hit different, you know. When you get hit by an auto combo that crosses you up, you kind of feel salt, right? So how this title came about, which is the funniest part about this title, is when I was uploading this video and making the thumbnail for it, it was me and Pretty in a Discord call, and I was, you know, describing how the matches went, and I was like, man, these matches were so hard to play. Like, I had a really rough ass time with this shit. And then he was like, man, like, how long did it take for you to like not give a shit? And I'm like, 30 seconds. And then literally as I said it, a light bulb showed up. It was like, that's what I'll name this video, 30 seconds. And then he was like, what? And I'm like, bro, it took me 30 seconds to not give a fuck about this set, and that's what I'm gonna name the title. And then he started busting out laughing. Like, we were both just laughing for like 5 minutes straight. And I was like, bro, this is gonna be like the most meta title I've ever made, because literally only me and you will know what it means, right? Well, now that I made this video, everybody will know. But yeah, this is what that title means, 30 seconds. It was literally just a throwaway joke, but probably a really real title. Like, whenever I fight people, it's like I'm invested for like those first couple seconds, but if they're just memeing, I'm like, bro, really? Like, this is what I'm fighting? Like for example, like whenever I fight like a Vegito, right? And dude just do standing medium punch, I'm like, oh yeah, this nigga's memeing. I'm not taking this shit seriously. Or when I fight like when I fight a Kai player, like he'll just jump back, throw fireball, and then jump back, throw fireball, and then do the slide. I'm like, yeah, this nigga's memeing. There's no way. There's no way he's playing for real right now. So it's like, it's probably like one of the realest titles I ever made, because it literally takes 30 seconds for me to be like, I'm gonna take this seriously, or I'm just gonna like not give a shit and just say fuck it, whatever happens happens, you know. So it's like, it's probably like the most meta like backstory for this title, because like all the other titles I pretty much made up on my own, but this one I pretty literally like helped me create it unintentionally. So that's why it's number one on this list, due to the fact that like it's so funny when, you know, looking at the backstory of this title, and then also how real it is, because like I said, it's how I view matchups when I fight people. It's like, alright, those first couple seconds are really important. It tells me whether you're memeing or I should take this seriously, and most of the time I have to meme. So yeah, so that's the number one pick for top 5 titles that I've ever created. I think this list pretty much encapsulates what this list and this series is going to be about. So the candidates in the top 5 pretty much describe who they are and how they influence the channel, and the honorable mentions are like the secondaries. They do it, but not quite much, you know. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. This was really fun to do, just being able to talk about the channel and, you know, how it's grown and how these backstories culminates into these videos, and whether or not the people know it or not is, you know, is the funny part. So that's my top 5 list with honorable mentions for the titles of my channel. Now the next one should be top 5 thumbnails, so that one should be really interesting, because that one was really hard to do, because there are a lot of thumbnails that I really enjoyed making, and it was really hard to pick, but I think I have a pretty good list. And I really think that one's probably going to be one of my favorite lists to do, considering the backstory about those ones, and then, you know, whether or not, you know, it's visually good, which, I mean, it's all opinion based, but I think, you know, the top 5 is pretty much the best looking thumbnails I've made, you know, but we'll get into that tomorrow on the 27th. So with that being said, guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and this series, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more stuff in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video. Sayonara.